Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk about leadership. Um, I am a manager in software IT, and I frequently get into conversations with my coworkers and peers about management and leadership and the difference between the two. And if you don't know the difference between management and leadership, I'll make it pretty simple for you. Management is making sure the work gets done. Leadership is making sure the work gets done and getting people to like doing it. And so you can clearly see that they are not the same. Managers are people who generally speaking, they get the job done and people may not like them, but are, they tend to be very black and white and they only see things from an organizational point of view. Whereas leadership takes in the organization view as well as the employee view. So a manager would say you have to treat everyone exactly the same and equal and fair and all of that. A leader would say you have to treat everyone fairly, but every employee's situation is different, meaning some have kids, some don't, some have family situations, an ill parent that they need to take care of, the dog is sick. There are all these different dynamics that employees, bring to the table, and they're all unique. And generally speaking, employees want to do the work. Generally speaking, you always have that one who just shows up because they want to get paid, but people want to feel appreciated. They want to feel important. They want to feel like they contribute to society, whether that's the general society or their work environment. They want to feel like they're contributing. And managers often will overlook the small things like a thank you or a public pat on the back, when an employee does something. Um, Leaders will often say, hey, I appreciate you putting in that extra work to get that project done or to make sure that that project was successful. Um, Whether that's extra hours or extra effort or whatever the case may be. And it won't go so far as to say that employees don't care whether they get raises, but I will say that employees understand the big picture and know that sometimes they can't get a raise, but if they don't feel appreciated, they're not going to stay long. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, the difference between a manager and a leader. Um, so you cannot be, you can be a leader without being a manager. So you can have a team lead or just that person who always has great ideas and people listen to them. That person is a leader, whether they have any authority or not. You absolutely can be a manager without being a leader. And I dare say that probably 75% of managers are not leaders. And that's not to say they can't become leaders, that's to say that they aren't currently. So today I want to give a very short mini lesson on how to be a better leader if you're already a manager. And honestly, the very short way to talk about this is be the manager that you want to work for. It's actually that simple. That doesn't mean that you don't have to have hard conversations with employees when it's necessary. It doesn't mean that you let employees do whatever the hell they want to, because we all know that's not possible. But be the manager who notices when someone comes in and they're upset or they seem to be having an off day. Ask them about it. Let them know that if they want to talk about it, you're there for them. Now, some people will take advantage of that and others won't, and that's okay. And it takes time to build that relationship and that trust. If you haven't been doing that already, I, I encourage you to tomorrow, it's Sunday when I record this, so tomorrow just go in and take 1 minute with one or two employees and just ask them about their weekend. And you know, we all come in and sit down at our desks and start working and forget about the human part of it. But just come in and ask them, you know, hey, what'd you do this weekend? What did you do good this weekend? Oh, nothing. Well, did anything bad happen? You know, is everything okay? Oh, yeah, just nothing good happened. Okay. Ask them about their vacations when they come back. I generally have this thing where when employees take a week off, they are required, and I put the air quotes because if somebody doesn't want to participate, I don't make them, but I tell them, you know, at the next team meeting, I want you to share 3 photographs that sum up your trip. So we all get to participate in the trip to an extent. They get to talk about their trip in front of everybody, and we get to ask questions if we want to. If the employee doesn't want to do that, I don't make them. I encourage them to do it either in our chat spaces or whatever if they don't want to talk about it, and that's all okay. That's part of the. Some people want to be in front of people, and some people just want to be in the background. And, you know, it's really just a way to say, I care about you as a person, not just you as an employee. If somebody tells you, you know, their dog is sick, you know, to to that employee, their dog might be their kid, you know, so treat them with kid gloves, you know, ask them, hey, do you need some time to take care of your dog? You know, do you need some time to take the dog to the vet or, you know, whatever? And, you know, nobody expects you to um, not get the work done, but the fact that they just hear you say, I understand this is important to you, take care of it. And, you know, I realize all employees or all companies and all positions don't have the luxury to come and go as they please, and I appreciate that as well. But even when employees have to punch a clock and come in, you can still ask them about their vacation. You can still ask them about their family. You can ask them about their hopes and dreams and you know, where they want to be in 5 years, and not just from the organizational line of, you know, we're working on your goals this year, so what are your goals for 1, 3, and 5 years? Where do you want to be? I don't mean those kinds of conversations. I mean, you know, hey, you know, if you're a programmer and you don't like the kind of programming you're doing, and you tell me that, then I'm going to try to find opportunities where I can put you either on different work or in a different space. So I may say, you know, if you don't like doing web applications, but you want to do data exchange type work, then I may shift gears and only put you on projects, or mostly put you on projects that deal with that kind of work. That's leadership. All the work has to be done. The work is being done, and that person's happier because they get to do what interests them. And you'd be amazed, they will excel when they're doing what interests them. So, again, this is be the manager you want to have. You know, be be understanding, um, support people. Um, but again, when you have to have difficult conversations, somebody's not producing or not showing up to work on time. When you have that conversation, don't bring them in your office and scream at them. Bring them in your office and say, "Hey, I've noticed that you've been coming in a little late lately. Is everything okay at home? Are you having a problem with your car? Or the kids okay?" And try and understand why, because they may be going through something, horrific at home, and you may not be able to help them with what's going on, but you may be able to be understanding and give them some grace that it's okay to be in this place right now. And that doesn't mean that you don't make them be at work on time. You just have them work through ways that they can either get there on time so that their butt is in the chair on time if that's necessary, or you work with them in an employee assistance program or whatever so they can take the time off to take care of the personal business that they need to take care of. And all of these things are important in the moment. And a lot of times as managers, we don't realize where where people are in their lives in the moment, or we may realize where they are because they said something, um, and then 2 days later we forget about it, and that gives the appearance that we don't care. And I'm guilty of that. When an employee says, "Hey, I'm helping my sister through a health issue," and I will engage with them and ask questions and give them that outlet. But often a week later, I'm back to business as usual. And it's not that I don't care about what's going on at home, it's that they haven't mentioned it again. And so I think they're handling it and everything's okay. But what I've started doing is actually putting a reminder on my calendar a week out when something big or major happens with an employee, check on so and so, and then in that calendar reminder, and it's just an appointment thing that only I can see. I may say, uh, check on Sally, her sister had a stroke, or check on Bobby, um, he moved out from his family last week. And you know and that just is a reminder for me to check in with them and see how they're doing. I may also give them an opportunity to have more frequent one-on-ones with me. And if you're not doing one-on-ones with your employees, you need to do those. No matter what kind of work you do, I think that's important, to check in with them. I actually don't use that one-on-one time usually to talk about work. We can if they need to, but I usually use that time literally just to say, "What's up? What's going on in your life? How's the family? How's the dog? How are you liking your new house, your new car, whatever, you know, that sort of thing." And that lets them know, it gives me the opportunity to get to know them as a person and not just somebody who gets stuff done at work. And it's important to me to engage with them, and I think it helps them feel appreciated and lets them know that I appreciate them and all their differences, um, as well as helps them know that when they are going through these difficult times that might affect their work, that they come to me and talk to me about them. Um, so all of that was just a really quick way to kind of start being a better leader. And It's really not that hard. You can start with being the manager that you want to have, and things will just fall into place very naturally and easily. I think I'm gonna make this a new subject on my channel. So I might do more videos about this along with my exercise and fitness stuff. But I felt compelled today to talk about this. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.